For decades, the federal system designed to catch dangerous side effects from medications and inoculations has been quietly failing the American public. Not because those problems weren't happening, but because the infrastructure meant to track them was too fragmented, too slow, and too burdensome to surface meaningful patterns in real time. Dr. Mercola has long raised concerns about adverse event reporting opacity, and now the FDA is overhauling the system with an artificial intelligence platform that could change everything about how safety signals get detected.
Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Hello and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom.
The old system had a fundamental structural problem that Dr. Mercola emphasizes throughout his analysis. Reporting was voluntary for patients and providers alike, buried in outdated processes and scattered across disconnected platforms. The result was that only a fraction of adverse events were ever formally captured in federal records, leaving a massive gap between what patients actually experienced and what the data showed.
What appeared in official records simply didn't reflect the full scope of what was happening in clinics and homes across the country. That gap between lived experience and documentation has had serious consequences for public health across multiple generations. Dr. Mercola argues this isn't a minor administrative issue, but rather a foundational problem that shaped how millions of people understood the safety of products they were using.
The FDA launched its new platform on March 11, 2026, and the system represents one of the most significant shifts in adverse event monitoring in recent memory. It combines artificial intelligence with expanded reporting pathways, allowing far more people to submit safety reports from more sources than the previous structure ever permitted. Dr. Mercola notes this technological overhaul was long overdue, given how far other industries had already advanced.
Banking, shopping, and communication all modernized decades ago, while safety reporting remained frozen in processes designed for a completely different era. The choice to maintain a fragmented, slow reporting structure for so long reflects something deeper about how regulatory agencies have historically weighted transparency against other considerations. This overhaul represents at least a partial acknowledgement that the old approach was genuinely inadequate.
One of the most important distinctions to understand about this new system is what the increase in reported numbers actually means. When adverse events are reported at higher rates under the new platform, that doesn't mean there is suddenly more harm occurring. It reflects better visibility into harm that was already happening, but going unrecorded. And Dr. Mercola emphasizes this point specifically because misreading those rising numbers could lead to false conclusions.
The old system structure effectively concealed problems rather than surfacing them by design or neglect. When data is difficult to submit, slow to process, and fragmented across platforms, fewer signals rise to the point of detection. That structural limitation directly affected your ability as a patient to make genuinely informed decisions about the products you use every day.
Real-time visibility is perhaps the most transformative element the new platform introduces. For the first time, safety signals can surface far faster than the old reporting timeline allowed. Patterns of harm that previously took years to emerge in federal safety records could now appear within weeks or months. And Dr. Mercola sees that compression of the detection timeline as genuinely significant for ongoing health decision-making.
The role of artificial intelligence in this system deserves careful attention. I can identify patterns across millions of data points far faster than any team of human reviewers working manually. When applied to adverse event reports, that processing speed means a safety signal emerging in one region or demographic can be flagged and investigated before it escalates into a broader pattern of documented harm across a larger population.
The new platform also allows patients themselves to submit adverse events directly rather than relying entirely on providers to report on their behalf. Dr. Mercola sees this patient-facing reporting pathway as one of the most democratizing elements of the new system. When more people can contribute their direct experiences, the accuracy and completeness of the safety data improves meaningfully, giving the public a stronger voice in how risk information gets shaped.
Practically speaking, this means that if you experience a concerning reaction after using any medication or other regulated product, you now have a direct path to add that experience to the federal record. That is a meaningful shift from the old model, where most adverse events were filtered through providers who may or may not have chosen to report. Dr. Mercola emphasizes that individual reports, in aggregate, create the patterns that regulatory action depends on.
Dr. Mercola's overall perspective on this development is measured rather than celebratory. He sees genuine potential in the new platform while noting that the value of any reporting system depends ultimately on who controls the data and how signals are acted upon once detected. More data is only meaningful if the regulatory decisions that follow actually reflect what the data reveals, and that accountability question remains open as the system rolls out.
The old approach was not serving the public interest adequately. Dr. Mercola believes acknowledging that failure honestly is a necessary first step toward a more transparent relationship between regulatory agencies and the public they serve. And this overhaul at least moves in that direction.
Whether the new platform fully lives up to its promise will depend on whether the data actually drives regulatory action or simply gets collected and filed away. That accountability gap is one of the most important open questions as the system rolls out nationally.
For more on Dr. Mercola's analysis of regulatory transparency and how to navigate health decisions with more complete information, visit Mercola.com.
Drop a comment. Have you or someone you know ever experienced a reaction to a medication that was never formally reported anywhere? Your experience matters more than you might think in shaping how this new system develops.
Thank you for listening to Dr. Mercola Cellular Wisdom. See you in the next episode.
Looking for trusted health wisdom you can hold in your hands? Discover the life-changing books of Dr. Mercola at joyhousepublishing.com. These titles bring decades of natural health research into practical steps for better energy, stronger immunity, and clearer thinking. Take charge of your health with guidance rooted in science and experience. Visit joyhousepublishing.com now and claim your bonuses while they are available.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.